Hi folks, it's me, Leslie Rogalski, Creative Director for the BeadSmith, and here we are today with another fabulous cymbal metal element for Paisley Duos. Allow me to present the Mamaku Pendant. Mamakus are designed especially for Paisley Duos, though certainly you don't have to limit them. And I have taken a component and added the Mamaku so that I could hang it from a chain from two sides, like this. That way it doesn't flip around, and you can see where here I have the silver ones interspersed with a nice kind of summery tropical mix with the opaque turquoise Paisley Duos, and one of my favorite beads that you guys really need to give a little more love to are the nibbits. So this pendant has Paisley Duos and nibbits, two Mamaku ends, and they're going to be flipped. They're two-sided, so they go in both directions. My Paisley Duos, I'm going to use for my demo these fabulous laser crackle. I love they're a jet AB, so they go from like green to blue. Ooh. Nibbits in a jet AB. And nibbits have a nice dimension, so when you're working on a piece of beadwork that normally would be flat, it really just brings that extra to it. And we have size 8 beads, just Japanese seed beads, and size 11 beads. So let's get started. That's my bead scoop. And by the way, I will remind you again that this pattern, I think, is already in our I Love Beads section. On beadsmith.com/I Love Beads, you will find all the bead shapes categorized with free patterns. So the Mamaku pendant's in there under cymbals and probably under Paisley Duos as well. All right, are you ready? I'm going to get started. I have a 28-inch piece of fireline. I like to use fireline because it has no stretch. I've left myself about a 6-inch tail and strung a stopper bead. I'm using size 10 beading needles because 11s are the smallest beads that are in this project, so I don't need to really go any thinner. Even though you're going to be passing through things a couple times. Oh, hi Janet, it's my hand fan. Thanks. Nice and neat and tidy. No polish on my nails. Kathy, nice to see you too. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is string an 11 and an 8 3 times and then another 11. So I have galvanized gold 11s and matte black seed size 8s. 2. So that's an 11 and an 8 3 times and an 11, and I'm going to pull it down to my stopper bead. Now I'm going to string a Mamaku ending, and with Paisley Duo shapes you have a concave side which goes in and a convex size from, wow, sorry, I got distracted because there's somebody from South Africa watching. Cool. Okay, so you have a concave side and a convex side, and you also have a tip and a wide end, and I'm going to refer to the stringing that way, and the tutorial does that. So you're going to string one Mamaku end through the concave tip and a Paisley Duo through the convex tip and pull it down. Now I'm going to repeat stringing the seed beads, an 11 and an 8 3 times and another 11. 1. Whoops. Now here's a tip. You know, beads are not perfect, and you see how that one black bead is skinnier than the other one? I'm going to discard that. That's a mutant, and I don't want a mutant in this project. 1, 2, 3, and another 11, and I'm going to pull this down. And now I'm going to string a Paisley Duo through the concave tip and a Mamaku through the convex tip. So here's where we are. All right. Actually, I think it's going to go the other way. I'm going to repeat stringing the seed beads. 11 and an 8, 3 times, and another 11. And now I'm going to string 2 Paisley Duos with the little tips, convex sides together like this. So I'm going to string through a concave side and a convex side. Let's see, where are we? I wanted to try to get this so you could see. Looks like my pieces are the other way. And seed beads again. Oh, you know what? I know what I did. All right, here. I'm fessing up. I need to have a Paisley Duo pair in between my 2 Mamaku. Do you see how they're like this? What a day. All right, so I'm going to take my needle off my thread. You never want to sew back through your beads when you do something like that. And I'm going to pull off starting from the Mamaku. And we'll do it again. Bring your thread to your fingers so it's like a poppy seed. Bring the eye of the needle to the thread. Pretty much goes right through. All right. Let's see, where am I? Now you're going to have illustrations to follow that look like this. That's it. Only 3 of them. I should be following my own illustrations, you guys. Somebody from Mexico, hi. Mamaku, Mamaku, Mamaku. Oh, mama. That's what I say. So I hope everybody's doing really well during these very strange times in our lives around the world. Let's continue here. An 11 and an 8 3 times. Everybody should be wearing masks and practicing social distancing for the other people around you who may be very vulnerable and susceptible. Okay, so I'm down there at the bottom. Now I'm going to pick up my other set of Paisley Duo and Mamaku, sewing through the concave side of the Paisley Duo and the convex side of the Mamaku. They're really nice, aren't they? And now we're going to put the top part on. We're going to string again an 11 and an 8 3 times. 2, 3, which brings us back to the top of the pendant where we have another pair of Paisley Duos back to back. You string it through the concave side tip and the convex side tip. Now I'm going to save some time for the tutorial, but what you're going to do is sew through all of these again and then knot the tail to the working thread. And I'm just tying a square knot. It's an overhand and an overhand. Right between the Paisley and the next 11. And I'm just going to trim this short for now. You're going to thread it on a needle and weave it in. Now, we're going to have to come around to start to step up to do the next round around the outside. So I'm going to sew through the beads and come down to the next Mamaku and reverse direction by sewing along the outside of the cymbal through it, because I know that the thread is going to show there, but it's really going to be hidden. Now you could also sew around till you get to the back of a Paisley Duo as well, doesn't matter. The idea is to choose an inconspicuous place to do the turnaround. So I'm going to sew back through all the eights. Oops, all the eights. Sorry, I can't see. Okay, there we go. The 11s and the 8s all the way around to the next Mamaku. And it's kind of wiggly. My piece is a little wiggly. Yours is going to be a lot firmer because you're going to sew through it twice and pull it nice and snug. All right, so my needle's coming out of the Mamaku. There we go. Now a step up, I'm going to reverse direction and sew through the outer hole of that Mamaku Paisley Duo. Now I'm in position to start to sew this part. So I'm going to pick up 2 8s and 11 and 2 8s, and it takes designers a while to figure out how many of each size are actually going to fit well in between these. So there's the one. These keep flipping out. Now I'm going to pick up my first nibbit. Nibbits have a narrow end and a wide end. They're 2-holed. You do want to make sure that you check your holes before you sew any 2-holed or multi-holed beads. So I'm going to sew through my nibbit narrow hole and sew through the next Paisley Duo open hole like this. And the nibbit just will fit right in there. And I'm going to do that all the way around, picking up 2 8s and 11 2 8s. Sewing through the next Paisley, which is my other Mamaku ending. It sounds so tropical, Mamaku. Pick up a nibbit. These are full jet AB nibbits. I mean, there's so many colors in these beads to put together. You can just do this, I mean, as much as you want for every outfit. 2 8s and 11 and 2 8s again through the next Paisley. A nibbit through the tip end so that it sits right there in between. And our last span of 2 8s and 11 and 2 8s. And a nibbit. Now, let's see. We want to continue through the span of the 8s and the 11 and the first Paisley Duo that you come to. And we're going to put 8s next to the nibbits. So right in the little space between the nibbit and the Paisley Duo, and that's going to help to snug this up. You can use different colors. For example, in this pendant, I added copper 8s instead of the black size 8s. So this is kind of a cool stash buster because you can use up really small quantities of beads. We all have those beads floating around where there's only a handful. This is the perfect thing to make with your little lonely little beads. But I'm going to use my black ones since they're out. So I'm going to pick up a size 8. And I'm coming out of the Paisley Duo. Now I'm going to go through the second hole of the nibbit. and pick up another 8, coming out of that second hole of the nibbit, going in through the Paisley Duo and around through the seed beads. I'm going to pull that nice and snug. See how nice that sits in there. Through the first Paisley, so you're coming out between, in this case, the Mamaku Paisley ending and the nibbit, and we're going to add our 8s again through the outer hole of the nibbit. Pick up another 8 and go through the Paisley Duo and all the way through again. And you're going to do this all the way around. Make sure you don't get caught. Sometimes it's easy to get caught on the little loops of the Mamaku. And we're going to go through, let's make sure we came through all the seed beads. Yes. Through the Paisley. Pick up an 8. Again through the outer hole of the nibbit. Another 8. Through the existing beads. All right. Sorry about that blip if you heard that. Okay. We do look at our promo booklets a lot. And you know, once you start working with these, you'll remember a lot of the names and what they're used for. And here we are, our last time. Okay. There's a lot of noise today. We're pretty much done, you guys. What happens now after you add that last nibbit? Let's turn it right. You're going to thread a needle on that tail and weave it in. And you're going to sew through. I like to sew through as many times as the needle will fit easily in order to secure that end thread and really firm up the piece. There's your Mamaku pendant. And your chain's going to come off the side. Ta-da! That was a short one. But, you know, instant gratification, I guess. How long did it take me even just stopping to tell you? Anita, it does look very Art Deco. I think the colors maybe in some of them, and it's very geometric, which, for those of you that know me, is totally my thing. My husband often calls me Miss Symmetry. But anyway, here we are, the Mamaku pendant with Paisley Duos, nibbits, size 8 seed beads, and size 11 seed beads. What do you think? Remember, you can find these beads and other quality BeadSmith beads, tools, and supplies at your favorite bead reseller, and you can find this tutorial and all our other Facebook Live tutorials for free on the I Love Beads page. So check out the Cymbal line. I forgot to mention that I've used all 4 metal finishes here. We have silver, antique brass, the gold plate, which is what I used today, and rose gold. Just this really, really rich looking. So there you have it, the Mamaku pendant. I'm Leslie Rogowski, Creative Director for the BeadSmith, and boy, do we love beads. Everybody be safe. See ya.